Hey everyone, before we dive into this story, please consider subscribing to my channel for more heartfelt narratives like this one. I never thought my marriage would crumble in such a hushed, devastating moment. It wasn't sparked by an argument, a revelation, or a questionable message. It unfolded on a quiet Thursday evening as the sun dipped below the horizon when I passed a small cafe on my way home from work and stopped dead in my tracks. Through the window, I saw my wife, Sarah, smiling in a way I hadn't witnessed in ages. But that smile wasn't for me. It was for a man, tall, likely in his early 40s, leaning across the table toward her, as if they were the only two people in the world. Then came the moment that tore me apart. Sarah reached out, her fingers grazing his, and when he stood to embrace her, she sank into his arms the way she once did with me long ago. My breath caught in my throat. My chest felt like it was collapsing. I didn't barge in or make a scene. Instead, I turned and walked away, my legs moving mechanically as my heart broke with every step. I thought to myself, this is it. Our marriage is over. By the time I got home, my hands were shaking. I sat in the living room, staring at our wedding photo on the wall. The Sarah in that frame was radiant, her eyes sparkling with vows of forever. The Sarah in the cafe seemed to have already given those vows to someone else. When she came home that night, I didn't confront her. I couldn't bring myself to. She kissed my cheek, asked how my day was, and moved through the house as if nothing was wrong. I responded with clipped words, my mind stuck on the image of her in that man's embrace. For days, I withdrew. I shied away from her touch, her eyes, her voice. At night, when she reached for me, I pretended to be asleep. At meals, I let silence hang heavy between us. Inside, I was screaming, why Sarah? Why him? Why not me anymore? A week later, I couldn't take it anymore. I packed a small bag, left a note on the kitchen counter that read, I saw you. I can't do this anymore, and walked out. I didn't know where I was headed. I just knew I couldn't stay. That first night away was a haze. I checked into a cheap hotel and stared at the ceiling until morning light crept in. My phone buzzed with calls and texts from Sarah, but I ignored them. What was there to say? She had chosen someone else. But Sarah wasn't one to give up. The next evening, as I was about to step out of the hotel to clear my mind, there was a knock at the door. I opened it, and there she stood. No makeup, eyes swollen from tears, clutching the crumpled note I'd left. You saw me, she whispered, her voice trembling. And you think it was what it seemed. I looked away. Sarah, I don't need excuses. I saw enough. She stepped inside anyway, shutting the door behind her. Please, just hear me out. That man isn't who you think he is. His name is Michael. He's my brother's closest friend. He's been helping me with something I didn't know how to share with you. I let out a bitter laugh. Helping you by holding you like that? By making you smile in a way I haven't seen in years. Tears welled in her eyes. I was smiling because for the first time in weeks, I felt a glimmer of hope. Michael's a therapist. I went to him because I didn't know how to talk to you about what I've been feeling about us. I froze. Therapist? Yes, she whispered. I've been terrified, David. I felt you pulling away. I thought you didn't want me anymore. I wanted to fix things before I lost you for good. That hug, it wasn't romantic. It was comfort because I'd just admitted to him that I'm scared I'm failing as your wife. Her words struck me like lightning. I had been so convinced of her betrayal, so consumed by the image of that embrace, that I hadn't considered another possibility. Why didn't you just tell me? I asked, my voice breaking. Because you've been so distant, she said. Every night you turned away. Every day you grew quieter. I thought I was the problem. I thought you didn't love me anymore. The truth hit me hard, sharp and heavy. I had been hurting from what I thought I saw, but in my silence and withdrawal, I had been hurting her too. We sat on the edge of the hotel bed, both of us broken, both of us wounded in ways we hadn't voiced. She took my hand, her grip unsteady. David, I don't want anyone else. Not now, not ever. I want us, but we can't keep pretending everything's okay. We need help. For the first time in weeks, I looked into her eyes, not the eyes of a woman in another man's arms, but the eyes of the woman who promised me forever. I saw her fear, her love, her desperate hope that we still had a chance. I thought it was over, I confessed. I thought you'd already chosen someone else. And I thought you didn't want me anymore, she whispered. But maybe this is our chance to choose each other again. It wasn't simple. The days that followed were raw and messy. We started counseling together. We had long, tearful conversations that left us drained, but somehow lighter. We confronted the truths we'd been avoiding, that a marriage can be eroded not just by infidelity, but by silence, by distance, by the walls we build around our hearts. Slowly, painfully, we began to find our way back to each other. I'll never forget that first night when she came to find me, when she refused to let me walk away believing a lie. I had thought I saw the end of our marriage through that cafe window, but what I had really witnessed was the start of a reckoning we both desperately needed. Our marriage didn't end that day. In a way, it was reborn, because sometimes it takes the fear of losing everything to finally fight for what matters most.